Now, I understand that you're running as a conservative independent.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
How did you decide how you wanted to be branding yourself,
Yeah.
I guess, in those terms?
Well, it's not an easy decision because typically independents don't win. So to say, all right, I'm going to run as an independent, all right, here we go, that's a tough decision. But there are decisions that are more important than deciding which party to run with. And that is positioning yourself to really be able to tell the truth. And that means that you have to address some issues before you even get to Washington. If you're really going to position yourself to tell the truth, you have to address some of those issues head on. So that when you get to Washington, you're not feeling the political pressure of being beholden to a major party and feeling that pressure, such as we've seen unfortunately with Ben Nelson and Nebraska. So that when we get to Washington, we're not having to be under the pressure of a political action group. So that when we get to Washington, our entire focus, or a good portion of our focus, is not on re-election. That we've set those issues aside so that we can totally focus on telling the truth to our voters and to be able to speak about that. Now, that truth may include some tough discussion, some tough choices. But I've always been taught, farmers in Fillmore County even have always taught me, that it's better to get a little sting up front than to have an ongoing cancer later on, something that can't be cured. So go ahead and hit me with your best shot right now. Tell me the truth, even though it hurts, so that I can prepare myself for long-term sustainability. And so telling the truth is going to be very, very important for this next election cycle. And I think Americans need to realize that our decisions that we make with the people that we vote this fall, these are the people that are going to vote for the financial future of this nation. They will make the decision whether we'll stay out of a financial crisis or whether we'll lend ourselves in the direction of a financial crisis. These people that we vote in November, they will be the ones making that decision. And they have got to be positioned to tell the truth. It's not an issue of politics anymore. It's an issue of what's right for America.
At one point during our conversation here, you talked about small business, your business experience.
Yes.
Over 70% of the businesses in Fillmore County have 5 or less employees.
Yeah.
We're a huge small business community.
Yes.
We have a very rural base,
yes,
and small operations. Pretty much, I would say, a good majority of the business you walk into, you're going to be dealing with, it's a mom and pop operation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see serving those people and the concerns that they have and the needs they have?
Absolutely.
What do you see from your standpoint going and representing essentially the interests of all those small business owners?
Well, I have a good answer for that, I hope, but I think that there needs to be a caveat first, and that is that we have to be careful that the federal government doesn't get too involved, because many times the federal government can come in with a wheelbarrow of good intentions and go out with a truckload of unintended consequences. And we're the ones that have to deal with the ramifications of that and the results. So we have to be careful that we don't invite the federal government in to do all these things, and then we've got all these issues we've got to deal with that we weren't expecting. But there is some things that the federal government can do that won't cost taxpayers a dime. And I did some of it this morning before I came to visit with you. And that is find out if the Chamber of Commerce has a business mentoring program whereby those senior executives that might be retirement age and have specialized skills can come alongside free of charge smaller businesses that have 2 or 3 employees, and to be able to provide support to them. And here's why that's so important. Every business in Fillmore County, I believe, every business in Fillmore County has the potential of increasing their profits by 10%. Maybe even within a year. What's holding them back from doing that? Ideas, knowledge, information, innovation. That's what's holding them back. So then why aren't they going after that innovation? Because that innovation costs money. To hire a consultant can be $60, $70, $80 an hour. That's a lot of money for, as you say, a mom and pop organization. So what's a patriotic thing to do that doesn't cost anybody any major amount of money, doesn't increase taxes, is to encourage, come alongside chambers of commerce, even for someone like myself that's a candidate, and encourage chamber of commerces and to have some type of mentoring program. And then, even more important, encouraging senior executive business folks that have some expertise, that are retirement age, to say, you know what would be one of the most patriotic things you could do right now? One of the most patriotic things you could do is take a few hours every week and commit to this business for the course of the next 3, 6, or 9 months and provide services to them free of charge. That would be a very patriotic thing to do. Now, the small business, they have to look at it and scrutinize that situation as well. And they have to look at that prospective free consultant, and they have to say, well, does this person have a vision for what I have? Are they on the same page in terms of the vision for this business? Because if they don't have the same vision, then it's probably not going to work. Secondly, can I trust this person? Do I really feel in my gut that I can trust this person? If you've got a common vision and a common trust with that person, then it can work.
Okay. Now you're basically going up against Tim Walz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And who's the other?
Well, we haven't been through an endorsing convention yet. I believe there's 5 candidates that are running for the Republican endorsement.
Okay. So there's a few.
There's a few, yeah.
Okay. So when you're looking at what you bring to the table, what are some things that you think are good about what Tim Walz has been doing, mm-hmm. And what are some things that maybe you think you would step in and do a better job?
Sure, I think Tim Walz did a great job his first term. I'm impressed. He did a good job in constituency services. He got out and talked to the people. He's sharp. He's a fast thinker. Sometimes I have to go to auctioneering school just to be able to keep up with as fast as he talks. He's just that sharp. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with or support the decisions that he's made in the way he's voted in this term, in his second term. And I don't necessarily agree with the decisions that he has made in his voting record in his second term. And it looks like it's trending the wrong direction. And we don't have time to do another 2 years of that type of voting. So what would I do different? I would look at the numbers that are being provided from the economists. The economists that are saying this is what it's going to take for us as a nation to avoid a financial crisis. And that may mean that we've got to really rethink how we're voting. And that would be a large part of what I would look at. And then, as important, if not more important, is coupling that with what do the people in the district feel. And that's those 2 issues. What do people feel on a national scope from a macroeconomic perspective, and then what do the voters feel in this district? And then I have to weigh that between those 2 and really try to make the best decisions for the voters and what's best for this nation.